Welcome to a special podcast edition. This one's a recording that we did at the Bluescamp this year. Chris Penfold and I are talking to people about performance techniques for bands with some ideas for developing their on-stage persona. Hope you enjoy the show. Right, well, welcome. We're in our performance mode. Do you want to start off?
Okay, so this is not a prescriptive, this is how you do it session. This is a discussion and awareness and almost sort of pointing out the obvious in terms of what needs to happen to be visually appealing on the stage, but it's something that I think people pay no attention to whatsoever.
And there's some little tricks as well later.
Yeah, so too bogged down in learning chords and lyrics and vocals and structure and all that, and then when you get onto a stage or even in a bar or wherever you are, it's very easy, especially from my point of view as a keyboard player, not a vocalist, to see people behind microphones and they hide behind there. This is them. And it's very rigid and very still, and it's like that for an hour and a half. And you just reproduce everything you've rehearsed. And if you're not careful, I think it looks like, well, I might as well have just turned up at a stage and someone brought a CD player on and just pressed play on a CD. Why are those people buying tickets to see a band as opposed to just sticking on a set of headphones? So that's what we're here. We're going to talk about that. Everybody with me so far. Okay. Who has seen someone who's particularly boring to look at?
Not just anywhere, but on stage.
Musically speaking.
I'm sure I have, but I can't think. I wouldn't be able to name who it is. But yes, I have been people who just stand stock still.
Just
or even if it's a band, they all just stand around.
Just stands. Yeah.
And they're very good at what they do, but they're visually boring and stuff.
And they look like they're bored and they're not really enjoying
That's the
themselves.
case, yes.
Yeah, exactly right. And you hit the nail on the head straight away, and that travels round the room, and it's just a little bit of, and it's kind of trying to discover what makes someone like, say, Tom Jones, the minute he walks on, and the atmosphere changes, or Elvis Presley back in the day, and it would have been just that kind of single move, and the place erupts, and where you just don't have to do much, and everything comes alive.
Exactly.
I'll tell you a great story about Jerry Lee Lewis. My brother was a big Jerry Lee Lewis fan. We went to see him play at Wembley somewhere, and we had seats at the back, so we could see Jerry Lee on the stage. He was playing. And he does this, and it might be Great Balls of Fire actually. So it's in the place erupts, imagine. And then stops the song, and he looks at the audience. And he wants to go very quiet. And you see this hand goes in his back pocket and pulls a comb out. and it was amazing. So the point about that, because again, that taps into the style of what he would have been, well, he still was like that, but going back to the day, because his hair was everywhere, wasn't it, when he used to play and everything, but the whole thing of the rock and roll, the Teddy Boy image and whatever. So just that one little action. And one of the things that is worth pointing out straight away, like Chris was saying, if people are static, you're not presenting any image, any movement. So if you think about what is interesting or what people are attracted to, I don't mean that necessarily in a good way, because it could be any way, we are designed to spot movement. right? So if somebody's standing there like that, there's nothing to attract your attention, right? But as soon as somebody gesticulates and moves and what have you, then they're interesting to watch and they're interesting to listen to. So listening is also part of what is visually interesting as well. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, right, we're going to put something else to bed straight away. So I'll give you some examples of things that have happened on shows that I've seen on video. So there is a David Bowie moment on a Glass Spider tour. He did a famous tour called Glass Spider Tour, where he seems to randomly choose a girl from the audience, who wants to come up on stage, who wants to, me. So this woman comes up on stage and she's all very, very sort of giggly, I can't believe it's David Bowie. And then he's singing a song, it might be something like Let's Dance. And he's singing it to her, and again she's all sort of giggly, and the helper-outers on stage put a dress over the top of what she's wearing and push her on to the middle, and he sort of grabs her and they start dancing, slow dancing together, and it's all very nice. Then he grabs her backside and she pushes him away, and there's this big sort of thing that goes on, and then the helper-outers go, no, it's fine, get back together. And as the music continues, she turns into a professional dancer, and then they carry on the show. So it's not something that was just done on the cuff. It was a pre-planned, rehearsed to the exact moment, choreographed move as part of the show. Right, so that's one other example. Prince playing, used this yesterday. Whilst My Guitar Gently Weeps as part of a supergroup tribute, and he does all his guitar playing. He comes to the centre of the stage, puts his back to the audience, and just falls backwards where there's people catching him on his back, and he just plays like that for about 20 seconds, and then they push him upright. Now, no way was that cuff of the motor, bang, he would just fall flat on his face. So all these theatrical moves are rehearsed and they need to be practiced. They're not, you can play well as a regularly rehearsed band, but these big things, they're thought about, there's someone in charge, it's practiced, rehearsed, done again and again until it just looks smooth and seamless.
So that means then that all the things that you do on your own, you need to practice. So I mentioned Sheila Easton's manager, Dean Harlan, and I was doing some stuff, this was the Jeffrey Moore project, and Deke was saying about the Sheila Easton thing, that they when they started the tour off, this is when she first was sort of appeared on the scene, they paid for people to throw roses on the stage. He said after the third night, there were more roses going on the stage than we bought. And by the end of the tour, we weren't buying any more roses, but there were still roses going on the stage. And he said, this really stuck with me, there is no such thing as an unrehearsed improvisation.
Okay, yes.
So remember that. So just use your mirror at home. If you're standing with your bass, standing with your guitar, standing with a microphone, practice singing, playing to the mirror, move a little bit, see what it does. Right? So again, you've got to practice it.
There's plenty of Mick Jagger videos of him rehearsing on his own, in a dance studio, in his jeans t-shirt or whatever get up he's doing. Music's just on a CD, and he's leaping around all over the place, doing the sort of Mick Jagger stuff, but he's got that wall-to-wall mirror, and he's just practicing. And on his own, he looks like a right numpty, but do the same stuff on the stage, and that's what people expect. Okay, so we could do a little exercise now, and that is with your instruments. If you've got your instrument, is to assume a pose, a rock star, rock god, goddess pose, that maybe doesn't come naturally to you. So if this is the audience here, you can put the mic or console, put the straps on your guitar and pretend you are playing. And what I'll do is I'll just play something on the piano, and you're going to just mime to that. But what you're not going to do is just like, as we all do, me included. Okay, so you got to do that theatre thing.
Yeah, get into character. That's the thing. You're acting the part of the star. Now, you could be the drummer, right? You look pretty damn good as a drummer anyway. So you've got the moves, all right? Just imagine though that you were in Prince's band and you were playing the drums standing up, all right? Because that would have happened, right? You're playing standing up. Okay. Now, don't just ignore everybody else because you're in your own zone. Exactly. And if you feel ridiculous, that's good, because that's exactly how you should feel. Right. This is there, right? So think about what's going on with the music. You feel like you want to feel. Now, this is what we're going to do. Because if you see
because I do see people that, try and do that, but then they look like Dad dancing.
Okay, let me just push this out, because I know you find this really good. But I'm going to push this out to where I think what's going on. Obviously, we have things like, we have mirror neurons that make us, if somebody's in a room and they yawn,
oh yes,
you start to yawn, okay? This is sort of an empathy thing that goes on, right? Between
Is she a
you.
psychopath?
Okay, we'll just pass over. Okay. So when we see somebody perform, there is an element of us that's actually being them inside ourselves. We're mirroring that thing. That's probably why that is so cool when you watch a Prince or or a Bowie moving, on the stage doing this. And if you think about Bowie's moves, they're very sort of stylised, right? They look peculiar.
He's almost posing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like robotic, but in a sort of very cool sort of way. Now, I think this is a deeply unconscious thing that's part of what makes us this social creature. Now, I'm interested in shamanism, not because I'm a shaman or anything like that, but I'm interested, and I've hung out with some shamans, right? And if you go back to, they're the original sort of people who were the healers of the society, structurally, personally, and whatever. And a lot of the stuff they did, you would sort of think it was sort of ritualistic, sort of, people used to say mumbo jumbo, but obviously it sort of worked because of the way it had a social sort of interaction. So you imagine the shaman puts on the deer antlers and becomes the deer and moves like the deer, right?
Yeah.
And all these people are in there dancing around, because that's what people would have done. They become the spirit of the deer. Now, the Aboriginal people do that. They do the dance of the green, the blue lizard and all that stuff, right? And it's almost like an honouring of nature. Now, that's the level that it's on. It's animal. The damn thing's in your head, right? It's animal. It's that thing where you think, okay, in body and emotion, it could be movement, it could be anger, it could be happiness, it could be sadness, right? You're getting into character. You're not you anymore, you're something else. So what you do with that is you sort of respond to the sensory stuff. And because what will happen is you say, oh, yeah, but if you feel a bit ridiculous, that's brilliant, because that's what you should be doing, because your ego's losing control. That's the thing. All right.
Right, we're going to do the same thing again. I'll just notch it up a slight level. Okay, and this is the easiest, as far as I think, the easiest thing you can do. You're now you're now a band, so you're going to do the same thing, but you've got other people to play off of. So what can you do with your fellow bandmates? You know, anything that's like that. Okay, and you know, playing with the drummer, you know, just move.
Which is what you were doing in the song that you wrote. You're talking to one another, looking at, you know, and all that. Yeah. All of that stuff. That was really.
I unexpectedly, at very short notice, played on stage with Glenn Matlock, just playing the guitar. And it came to the guitar bit that some other guitarist took, and we're both playing the same chords. And he came over to me, and I didn't know what to do.
Shall I stop?
Am I doing it right? That's basically the other thing you're worrying about.
So it's up to you what you do. There's no right or wrong, as long as there's this big smiley face and you're doing something and it's aimed and it's, you know.
Okay. Do the thing, do that, and also when you're doing that, imagine you're on a stage. Imagine they are on a band. Alright? You got it? Yeah. Right, so. Secret. When we used to kick quite a lot.
Because you're a bass player. You can't help this.
I'm sort of, as you know, we sort of walked on the stage. I walk up to Chris and go, third row. Okay.
Doing your Bill Wyman bit, mate.
So that created a little bit of an interaction between us. Right? We've got this little thing going on stage here, right? And nobody else knows. Well, actually, that's not true because the drummer's going like, oh, probably Chris Fowler, right?
Yeah. What are they talking about? Who are they talking about?
And that creates that sort of rapport and interaction. Yeah, and also sort of this interaction with the audience because you know there's that thing going on, right?
It's just a bit of heat. Isn't it? It's just a bit of heat.
See, I'm playing
frisson.
The first time I came here, Ollie, and we were doing the scar thing, and I started getting into it, and he looked around and he goes, "Don't do that, Bob." And that destroyed me for the next 10 years.
And yet you're the man who puts on some petty hat.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
The other thing is, like I said the other day, everybody's nervous. Yeah. Everybody feels like that. And that everybody thinks that they're the only one who feels like that. Or they feel that they're worse than everybody else. Okay? Now, the problem with focusing on that is you multiply it. And it's that simple about, when I said, when we sit down in the hall, think of a happy event. Or where is that in your body? And it will be somewhere. It might be here, it might be something like that feels there. Or
It's in the womb. That's what happened.
right, okay, all right.
You got one?
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so what you do is you feel that feeling and then you double it. It's like sort of thinking, well, can you feel that your hand is warm? Can you feel the heat in your hand? Now, just double the feeling of the heat. And it's like you can feel your hand getting hotter, right? It's weird. But the problem is when you focus on something like anxiety, you start to multiply it. And then you start saying to yourself, I feel really nervous. It starts to ratchet up, right? So the opposite of that is, don't do that, do the other thing.
I suppose it's because it's more difficult, you naturally tend to revert to the anxiety because it's more overpowering initially.
Well, yeah, and it's also a protection.
Yeah.
You know, it's there to stop you
it's
being eaten by
fight
a
or flight,
lion.
isn't it?
You know.
You're slowly disappearing, you know, that feeling of into the floor.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
come so
So
that
you
you can't
can't
see
see.
by the animal.
But the moving around does the opposite. If you want to get rid of energy, just walk from one end of your performance area to the other. Okay, and also if you're nervous and the audience seem to be kind of in charge, if you like, you understand that. Well, a lot of people sing to the back wall. They're singing here. What can you do to make your audience a bit?
Yeah, look at them.
Look at exactly that. Okay, if you're singing la 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 la, then they're kind of it's not aimed at me, but I'm just watching. But if I'm looking at you and I'm singing to you, you might think, well, it's a bit odd, but
Yeah, well, it's because
if it's good, if it's a good performance, or you're playing to somebody, or drumming, or you've got eye contact, then that just changes the dynamic massively.
I
puts you in charge.
Puts you in charge, yeah. You're
Puts
the
the
boss.
power in the band.
That's it. My show.
Yeah.
You look at me.
I was talking to, this sounds a little bit like an oxymoron, I was talking to a German comedian.
Yes.
They do exist, but he's actually Turkish, but lives in Germany, so that explains it. But I was saying to him, when you started to play, because he plays big, like arenas, a bit like British comedians, and I said, do you remember that time when that transition happened? He went, yeah. That you could, you weren't able to deal with a big audience. He said, yeah. I said, what happened? He said, well, actually, it was a technique that I discovered. And he said, when you look at somebody, that's quite off-putting if there's a lot of people out there. For you, he said, the trick is you look there, between the two people. Because then, if you look there, I know we're close, but if you're further away, it looks like I'm looking at, you think I'm looking at you, and you think I'm looking at you, but I'm not looking at either of you. So the space is in between.
My
It's
singing
really
teacher
powerful.
told me, imagine the person's got something, a little creature on there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, well that type of
So-
thing. So you're not looking directly into their face. I mean, it's good to do that, but if you've got, 3,000 people, you're not going to be looking at one person in particular, right? So look between the spaces, that's quite good, that's a good little trick.
Okay, so what about shields? You can sit yourself down for a second. What about shields? What can we do in terms of getting into that state of mind? What props have we got to help us? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so firstly you've got your instrument, how you wear it. I'm not a guitarist, so you have to wear it so you can play it. But maybe you can wear it slightly differently, decorate it, put flowers on it. I don't know. Make it a little bit more show worthy. What else? Look at
Clothes.
clothes. Okay, clothes, pair of sunglasses, the cowboy boots, whatever it is to get into. I am now.
God,
Just
wrong.
changing.
Yeah, if I put the hat on the coat on, then I'm supposed to be stupid.
No,
No, but I'm supposed to be Not me.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't pay to go to the theatre and see everyone on the stage, having just finished work, jeans and a t-shirt. They've all put their costume on and some makeup. So it's no different for anyone else. We've been speaking a lot about this because we just don't spend the time really dedicating some thought to it. I went to Camden and bought some clothing from one of the shops in Camden. Vic's got an example of some of his stuff that he's got. He's got some longs, come take Mickey, the sort of Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean, things. Just a pair of shades, mesh your hair out, anything, gel it, massively spiky, whatever it takes to just get into that different persona. So you're not the same person on the stage as you are off.
Actually, there's an interesting thing. Johnny Depp, right? Ben, who was here last year, who's Adele's guitarist, Ben Thomas, he was doing a lot of stuff with Jeff Beck at Jeff's house because Johnny Depp was living there. And that's they were prepping up for that tour that Johnny Depp turned up, sort of unannounced because they booked him. But he was also doing this court case thing. So Ben was organising the music so that Johnny could come in and practice the stuff because he couldn't be there for the band, right? But if you look at Johnny Depp's stage persona, it's nothing like who he is. He's got that sort of strange floppy cap, his guitar down here somewhere, and now because he's got some perfume, aftershave, whatever, cologne, yeah, that's it, with him, and he's playing a guitar, right?
Embarrassing.
Yeah, but a lot of money.
Oh yes.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is,
He's a character.
it's a character, and it's not his character. It's the character he is when he plays the guitar. And he's an actor. That's the point.
Yeah.
He's going to shapeshift, isn't he? Okay, so it's having a multiple personality disorder is quite a good thing because you could just shift into the whatever it is. And in actual fact, we all have different personalities in the same way. You have the personality that you wear when you work, right? You have the personality that you have when you speak to your kids. You have the personality that you use when you're on holiday, whatever, or out on a stag do.
My wife can tell who I'm talking to on the telephone because I talk with different personalities to different people.
Exactly.
Got a mate. We always call each other mate. Like all drummers seem to.
Yeah, but you're right. Absolutely right. Yeah. So there's a lot of things again where we analyse it and we don't realise that the logic says it's weird to do this thing. Because actually the reality is that's what we do anyway. That is what we do. Right? Okay. So there's another little bit I want to just point about for vocals, and you saw this yesterday. When people do this and sing, there's a limit to what you can do because you're constricting yourself. Now this was interesting yesterday because somebody was playing the keyboards and I said, well look, if you act the part, it changes the possibility. Now you listen to my voice as I do this, and as I open my arms out, I've got more possibilities with my lungs because I've got more air in there. So not only does this stuff help you look good, it can actually help you do things like sing. So here's an example, Shirley Bassey. Shirley Bassey never sang like this, did she? It's all right, and you listen to how powerful her voice is, even now. Yeah, right. It's extraordinary. Another person is Adele. Adele will mark out exactly what she's doing vocally. with
Yes,
her hands.
yeah.
Right? I'm going high and I'm doing one of these wiggly bits. Right? In the vocal. If they do that sort of thing, it's worth you doing it.
Yeah.
So think about what bass players, a lot of bass players stand still because
Well,
they
then,
do. But not all of them.
that makes them complete. Everybody else is shifting about and they're standing still. So
And that's a good thing.
but they're becoming different. Aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because again, you've got to think about what an audience sees.
Yeah.
So if you've got like one person who's static but there's a lot of movement going on, that's a good thing. Because the brain, again, it's that way of observing things. You are aware of the static thing and you're aware of the movement. Right? It's slightly hypnotic actually. In fact, it's very hypnotic. Right? Okay, good. Right, let's.
You do another little activity.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can play the drums for me, so if you can play the drums, I will play the piano, and then if we can have like a cue here, so first person, second person, third person, fourth person, and what you're going to do, you're going to take it in turns to sort of walk up as I play to do something with the drummer, and then something with the piano player. Because unfortunately, us drummers, piano players, we can't run around the stage on a wheeled piano or drum kit. So rely on other people to engage us into the fun.
Yeah, and another thing, that somebody has a vocalist while they're playing, you can be la-ing, right? And you could be moving back, looking at the keyboard player. You could be doing that and you could look back at the drummer.
Yeah.
Okay? So the movements are definite movements. This is a Paul Rogers thing really, isn't it?
But it's interacting with your band members.
Yeah, it is. It's not this. Right?
The thing is, quite a few of us, like we are downstairs.
Yeah.
How do we get that kind of dynamic without
Crushing it.
bumping into, unless you practice something,
Well,
yeah.
But you see, the thing is, if you're doing something vocally and you're playing bass and singing, right? You play something you sung, you step back. All right? It's not that. It's that.
Well, I suppose
Right.
you just turn around.
And you can turn,
Yeah.
right? That's the point. Definite movements that you can see from a distance. Okay. Right. So we've got somebody on the vocal, and then as you're playing, somebody coming up to the drummer.
Yeah, so we just if you stand yourself up here, you can stand behind.
Hunter, do you want to be the vocalist and then Bob can be a vocalist?
And
You just have to pretend, or Lauren.
15, 20 seconds each, do something with the drummer, come over, do something with the vocalist if you like, come over, do something with the keyboard, and just get used to, that definitive, I can move around.
Cool.
Okay,
Get your head up a bit. That's good, that's good. when you're playing, if you, this is a typical sort of Hendrix thing. If you're playing there, I can do something where I've got a line or a note that I don't need this hand or this hand. So if I'm playing something like that, I can sort of point to you, right?
Yeah.
Right? And I could be signalling to something, but I'm still playing.
Gotcha.
Yeah? Or you got, you see, I can do that and look at it, or I can make a point of it. So a lot of the stuff is like making a point that I'm doing something. And obviously, Ed Van Halen was brilliant at this because he had all this tapping thing. But he wasn't just doing this. He was on the edge of the stage, right? And then he'd be like this, right? Making a whole point that he's doing fingerboard tapping. Was it complicated to do? Yeah. But he was showing people it was complicated to do. The other one is playing the guitar behind your head, which always sounds complicated, but it isn't. The trick is, work out where you are first. So if you're playing in that, do a little bit of leading A, you're here, flip the guitar behind your head, you're in the right place, see that?
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever you want then. Right? Okay? And then you can flip it over on your shoulder. That's it, that's it. That's it, right?
It's possible.
The other trick of Hendrix is, I'll tell you what this is, but this is a bit of a trick because you can damage your teeth if you don't do it. What you do if you play your teeth is you don't bite the string, you flip it from the top of your teeth.
Just like using your fingernail.
Yeah, so you do that. That's what he was doing, right? And then a lot of it you can just hand and pull off, but it looks like it.
But the one thing you shouldn't do is put light in the
No, and as Steve rightly pointed out, as you get older, you can then play the guitar behind your head with your teeth. But that's a later technique.
Yes.
That's really cool. All right. So you got that. You just find your place. Yeah. And then you just, you're going to have to practice this. You flip it over your head, and you've got the stuff there.
We've got a couple of
It never fails, does it? It never fails. When I do that. It's just like
Well, I
this.
suppose for a start, it's just the end.
Oh, you're actually playing the other way around? Yeah, okay.
So don't forget, most of your audience, they won't know how many strings on a guitar, they won't know the difference between the bass
Exactly.
and it just means nothing. They don't even know that you can get left-handed or right-handed, just don't know any of that stuff. So
Someone made a very obvious point to me yesterday, which I hadn't thought of, which is like when you're basically playing that, if you're all just basically keeping roughly still, 99% of the audience have got no clue actually who's making what sound.
Exactly.
So everyone, you might just be really clever and no, it could be any one of like 4 people that make that
That's
noise.
exactly true.
No idea. So you've got to sort of emphasise your
Okay.
work.
There's another little interesting thing. If I've got a really cool bass line, you play one of your bass lines. Okay, so you're not playing that here. Keep it. So the guitarist can come around and play the bass while you're playing the bass line. Or if you get really good at soloing and you've got your really cool lines, right? You could just go, somebody else could come along and play the basic. And you could be doing your solo. Now, I saw Tal Wickenfield and Jeff Beck do that. So Jeff Beck was just playing this simple bass line at the top, and Tal Wickenfield was playing this amazing bass solo. And it's just really cool, because it's just not what people expect. Alright, so you can try that out.
how could you include your drummer?
Yes, good question.
Cool. What was it? Call and response.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could be doing something. Well, the thing is, Indian music uses that all the time. These musicians are all talking to one another. The tabla player's talking to the sitar player, the sitar player is talking, and it's literally done by patterns. So as you're going, you go, your rhythm, right? You're still playing the chords, but you start to talk to one another that way. You know, we do that. We used to do these sort of solos, interactive solos, whether that was rhythmic or lead.
We're thinking of teaching the audience a bit of the chorus before we do the song. Are there set ways you do that, or we're just thinking of going out and saying we need you to be able to sing this chorus? This song really needs a chorus, so it needs you to sing along with us.
Yeah, well, you have to break it down. Is it complicated?
No.
Right, what is it?
Why, oh why does this matter to me?
That's it. So, you say, why, oh, why? So everyone goes, why, oh, why? Does this matter to me? Does this matter to me? Now that might be enough to start with. And then you get them to sing that back with the music. Right?
With the music. It has to
Why, oh, why? Why, oh, why? Does this matter to me? Does this matter to me? Right? You signal to them to do the thing. I would do it that way.
And then kind of go straight into the song,
Yeah.
into the first verse. Not okay. Thanks so much. All right, let's begin. One, two, because it's not it's not class. It's not a school lesson.
Yeah.
Why? You know. So as Vic says, as the music's introduced, the song's started, but you just rehearse.
So you've actually got the rhythm. You've actually got it all there.
Okay, thank you very much. Into the first verse.
Why, oh, why?
And it's all seamless.
Why, oh, why?
Yeah, but sorry, before that you do the teaching.
No, yeah, so before you've done okay, so
What would you do if you're talking about doing it halfway through the song?
No.
The thing is, the way the song starts doesn't lend itself to go straight in. It's a little bit of like an instrumental.
Well, can't you do the little segue bridge? Can't you just sort of get that drum pattern coming out of the original song, out of the previous song? And you talk about this next song, and say, we need your help on this one, right? And you get them to do, and the drum beat for that song is going, and you get them to do the thing, right?
It's not going to be like that because
And then you stop.
Story.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I've got some
I would
ideas.
be tempted to decide we're going to make a big thing of this, and then maybe rewrite the way you do the intro.
Yeah.
What we don't want is that, and then we stop, and then you go up again, and you stop, and you're trying to, you know,
Yeah.
it just wants to be one way.
We've kind of planned our whole like performance, which song, and then what this and then this. It's kind of going to work like that, and we just need to figure out how you want to. But I think we can have some suggestions. Yeah.
Ollie, currently, I'm not wearing a hat and everything until that song, and then Ollie goes and dresses right, as an event sort of thing. So that's when I take on that character.
Well, that might work. You might be able to do that because you've already created something for people to hook people in.
Right, okay.
We
We were thinking of actually having it, this is Nick's idea actually, on a whiteboard or whatever, so we have the cover so that they've got the words.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Yes. Alright.
I think that sometimes you don't know if something's going to work until you've done it.
Yeah.
You know, you can plan all sorts of things. Sometimes
If we keep doing this, they're playing. Yeah.
yeah. What I'm saying is, you know, the more you do this, you get a feeling for something that will work. Right. The more you perform in a particular way. Yes. We're pretty much there. All right. So, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So that's great when you are a competent musician and you're confident in your ability. But like, for instance, an example last night when I was singing with Ollie, I was very aware that I was just like, I didn't want to look at anybody because they don't know me as a singer. So today if I'm singing, am I
Can I just say, you didn't look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
but I
You
felt
felt it,
very
but
nervous.
it wasn't obvious to me.
No.
So how do you get that kind of fake confidence? Do you know what I
Goes
mean?
back to the
You just ignored what he said. You did. You ignored what he
It's
said.
my life.
Yeah, well, welcome to the world of men and
Sorry.
women. Yeah, used to being
I've been around a few
Right,
days.
okay, so,
I'm fully aware.
I thought she looks really good in my hat.
yeah,
It just really looks
Yeah.
good. So the idea I had is that she wears the hat
Absolutely.
up to the point where I change my persona and then she gives
Yeah,
it to
exactly.
me.
Yeah.
It really looks good.
Yeah.
So, you didn't look like that, you felt like that,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So, what I said before about having a memory
Mm.
of when you felt confident about something. And then spend a bit of time, a couple of minutes, bringing that memory back and bringing all the facets, all the what they call the modalities back. What did you see? What did you feel? What did you hear in that memory? And then focusing on the feeling, right? Once you've got that, boost that feeling up. Then you feel like super confident. So it's a real thing that you experience, not just something that you pretend.
Is
Right?
that why drugs might help on stage?
Anyway, so when you've got that, you've got a picture that triggers it. That's just what they call the anchor. So you walk on and you just think about that memory. And then, if you feel you want to boost the feeling up, then do that. But the idea is it's acting as a trigger, and the more you do that, the better it works.
Yeah.
All right?
I'd like to sort of wrap things up a little bit with final thoughts. So we're talking about what you've done when you're on the stage. You've got to get on it and you've got to get off it.
Yes.
Yes.
Very nice.
And again, had this, the band that I play, and we think about this, what's going on. So it's not the perfect solution. It's just better than not doing anything. It's first song we play. I play a big chord and it's got pad sound underneath it. It's just me on the stage, and I just decorate just that drummer walk song. It's just a drum beat. Bass player song. Single note. Guitarist walks on. There's still just on one chord. Vocalist walks on. Wherever we are, she'll say bonjour Dax, and that's a single. And that's how we start, rather than everyone walking on, finding a 1, 2, and starting like that. All right, so it deserves thought on how you're going to do it. You could all come on and do that. You could have one person come on, just do a solo on their own, and then everyone else joins in.
And the interesting thing is, of course, you were the one who got them to do that.
Yeah, I think.
And why was that, Chris? Because that's what we've always ever done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever we played, that's how we've done it. It's always about how you get on the stage, and of course,
You've got to get off it.
and get off the stage.
How do you deal with it, assuming that you haven't reached level yet where you've got like roadies and stage crew? You've got to kind of get your gear in place and your wires in place and
you
stuff
would have
like
done that
Yes.
before the audience had done.
Ah,
Right. Now, if you're doing a gig where you've got to put your gear on and all the rest of
yeah,
it,
exactly.
get your gear on,
It's a bit
then
tricky.
walk off.
Right. Get all that out.
Right.
Roll off,
Then walk
exit,
off.
and then enter
And then
your
do it.
Then do your entry. Yeah. Okay.
Leave the stage is just the same.
And at the end, what are you going to do? You're in your separate places, 20 feet apart from each other. Do you just go, yeah, finished? And say, oh, so I've got the keys and I'm off.
High
Or
fives.
do you say, right, we're going to all walk to the front, stand in a line, show our thanks to him, and a bow together? Or are you going to do something more magical than that? Whatever it is, you need do something that is, we appreciate you coming. Even if you don't bow together, all come to the front and wave, and just do something that makes you look like you've put some thought into it, and you gig regularly. Not just some sort of tweak.
Went to see a guy who's well known in Bridport, and he was still setting up. He didn't have all the letter, and we're all sitting there, and he comes in, and it's a builder's bum to the whole audience, as he's sorting things out. It's terrible.
Unless it goes to the message.
Yeah.
Because if you've done that, a little flag comes up and goes,
That's right. Roll
you looking at?
Yeah.
But it's really worth, if you've got a 3-hour rehearsal, well actually you've got 2.5 hours, the last half an hour should be sat around what we're going to do, how we're going to look, what you wear and what you wear, how we're going to get on, how we're going to get off, what can we do on this song, is there going to be any interaction on with the audience? Are you going to be firing t-shirts off with a t-shirt gun or at what point are we going to do a breakdown where it's just the drummer and we're getting everyone clapping to bring us into a fast song? It's got to be discussed, because it doesn't matter how good you are, it's like I said, it's not rehearsed, it's not a fluke, you didn't just telepathically all know what to do. So you've got to practice it.
It's true. Yeah, the beginning is particular. The end is very unclimactic at the moment, because we haven't done any of that. It's true, it does feel weird. How we just sort of finish and go,
Okay, thanks very much.
but it's almost, it breaks the contract with the audience in a way, doesn't it?
That's
It's
it,
like
yeah.
you've got this communication and you wouldn't just walk off and go, alright, you know,
Yeah.
you at least say
Because
goodbye.
they won't know you finished. What's going on? Something
Exactly, yeah, something gone wrong.
Yeah.
That's right. So I always used to say to people, sort of teaching them, if you went and saw a band and they got on the stage and somebody fell over, you'd remember that. If they were leaving the stage and somebody fell over, you'd remember that.
Yeah.
More than, that's the thing. You go, oh, I went and saw this band last night, the guy fell off the stage as they were leaving. So that means to say the show starts when you first are seen and finishes when the last moment you're seen.
First guy fell off his amplifier on the old grey whistle test, the mad guy from Aylesbury. He said,
John Otway.
yeah, John Otway.
Oh, John Otway,
yeah. And he said, we went to, he gave a talk about his life. And he said after that, the next time, the queues were all the way around.
Yeah, because they're way ahead.
You didn't fall off, did you?
Let's continue with stage and accident. That's pro level.
I saw.
He's up there.
There's a video where the guitarist is here, and as he turns,
Yeah.
he knocks the microphone stand over, but the vocalist just happens to be like that, ready to catch it. You're like, oh, that's so cool. Do it again.
That was so lucky, yeah, okay. As you say, it's rehearsal and preparation.
It is, yeah. So any questions?
Good.
No.
Yeah. Same flight to England, that's a separate course, is it, presumably?
We'll bring Arthur Brown in.
Yeah.
With the foreign hat.
Fire standards.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.